Parents with adopted kids, why did you choose adoption? I was a firefighter when my best friend Jamie died in our station's worst call in decades. He rushed into a collapsing building to save a child and never came out. At his funeral, his wife Sarah whispered, "You'll check on Emma, right? Promise me." 6 months later, Sarah's cancer diagnosis came, stage 4. 8 weeks was all she got. After Sarah's funeral, I found myself staring at their will. They named me guardian for their 4-year-old daughter, Emma. I lived alone in a cramped apartment, worked 24-hour shifts, and had never even owned a houseplant. When social services brought Emma to me, she was carrying a tattered photo album. She hadn't spoken since her mom died. The social worker explained that if I couldn't make it work, Emma would enter the system. That first night, Emma screamed for hours. When she finally collapsed from exhaustion, I called my captain to request leave. Take 2 weeks, then decide if you're coming back. I emptied my savings for a security deposit on a tiny 2-bedroom. Emma refused to sleep in her bed. Instead, she slept on my bedroom floor, curled against the wall. By day 10, I was drowning. Emma still wouldn't speak. My leave was ending, and I couldn't afford childcare. I called Jamie's mother, who'd refused guardianship, and asked if she could take Emma. "You're giving up already?" she said. "Jamie was wrong about you." That night, I found Emma's photo album open to a picture of Jamie, Sarah, and me. On the back, Sarah had written, "The 3 Musketeers plus our little princess." The next morning, I resigned from my job. I picked up security work that let me be home days. I sold my truck and most belongings. We moved to a rundown duplex where gunshots sometimes served as our alarm clock. Emma started therapy. Some nights, I'd find her asleep clutching Jamie's old helmet. I'd carry her to bed, my knees aching from standing 8 hours straight. On Emma's birthday, I managed to scrape together enough for a small cake. As I lit the candle, she spoke her first words since Sarah died. "Are you my daddy now?" "Because mommy said you would be, if they had to go to heaven." The adoption process was lengthy. The state questioned my stability and whether a single man could raise a little girl. Jamie's parents, who had initially refused responsibility, suddenly wanted custody when they learned about the insurance policy. For 18 months, we lived in limbo. I worked 3 jobs. During our final hearing, Emma's grandmother testified that I was unfit, pointing to our neighborhood and my irregular hours. When it was my turn to speak, Emma handed me a crumpled drawing of 2 stick figures holding hands. At the top, in wobbly letters, "My family." The judge asked Emma directly, "Who do you want to live with, sweetheart?" Emma pointed at me. "He doesn't just love me because he has to. He chose me." 3 weeks later, the adoption was finalized. That was 4 years ago. Emma is 9 now. I work at the fire station in an administrative role. We have a small house with a yard. Some days are still hard. She has panic attacks when I leave. Last week, Emma asked, "Do you ever wish you didn't have to take me?" I looked at this resilient child who changed everything about my life. "I didn't have to take you, Emma. I got to choose you, and it's the best choice I've ever made."